4, 3, 2, 1.
That will do it, folks. The Alexandria Cardinals are heading back to the state tournament, and the Tech Tigers playoff run is over.
We just played against a solid Alex team who had been there so many times. I think the experience that they had and just like the confidence in themselves, they were just the better team on that night. And not that we didn't have the confidence, but I think it was just like, oh my gosh, we're here. Like, now what? And where they were like, okay, we're going to come in and take care of business. Like, we know what we got to do.
It was kind of really just like defeating for our hearts and our emotions because we went into it optimistic, but ultimately we just weren't ready for that pressure and that stress on our entire team.
It felt really good to make it to that point because, I mean, I don't think any of us expected to get that far.
It was a little heartbreaking. You kind of could tell right away which way the momentum was going to go. And I think that getting there was a huge accomplishment. That's one of the moments when I knew coming back this year, we were going to walk into something special.
Every team starts a season with a goal, but some chase something bigger, a dream. For some, that dream starts the first time they lace up their cleats, the first time they kick a soccer ball. For others, it's the drive to be better than before, the pursuit of winning. Soccer is more than just a game. It's heart, grit, and the belief that anything is possible. In a season cemented in program history, the Tech girls soccer team broke records and defied expectations. They fought their way to the state tournament fueled by passion, determination, and an unbreakable bond. This is the story of 23 girls, one team, and the power of believing in something bigger than yourself. This is Tech Soccer. This is 23 Dreams. Playing in a section final game was an unforgettable moment. But once wasn't enough for the Tigers. They were determined to make it back and rewrite their story.
I think this year, with the team we had, we were a lot more prepared and more like gelled together as a unit and as a team.
We all just like knew what we wanted, and we kind of took each game as like, we have to play just this game, like no other game matters in the time, and just knowing that after a game, if we won or lost, the game's done and now it's time to focus on the next.
For so long, the Tech girls soccer team has been a program looking to find its footing. The program has seen its share of talented players, but something was missing to bring it all together. In recent years, the Tigers have evolved into the team that is dominant on the field and is bonded by more than just their love for the game.
My overall purpose was that I just wanted to create an atmosphere where like these kids can come here and have fun and remember the good times, doesn't matter wins or losses. And at the end of the day, like they remember Tech Soccer as a good experience for them.
If Boards and Fro like really put in that family aspect of this team, like that really helped us because we were all together. We all knew that we had each other's back in between like the wins and the losses and everything. We all knew that like we had each other in all of it.
With the graduation of several key seniors last spring, Coach Boardman and Coach Froelich were looking to build a strong varsity roster that could evolve and manage different situations throughout a game, especially when it came to strengthening their backline.
We lost a lot of good seniors the year before, and so we kind of had to like rebuild from that. And I think the younger girls that stepped up did a very good job.
We knew some younger players and even some older players were going to have to step up, play in some different roles. And it was kind of just like, how are we going to fit the pieces together to build chemistry and a successful, like, winning team? Jana, Raina, Sarah Myers, when those players graduated, Ava was able to step up, Presley was able to step up. Eleanor was a returner, so she kind of had that experience. Presley had that experience. Ava had a few games in under her belt, so she was able to kind of come in. And then obviously Allie has been our goalie for a couple years, so she was kind of our true leader back there. I can't say enough about Sadie stepping up as a senior and as a captain, and just that's the kind of like leadership that we needed, and she filled that.
As tryouts begin, every player steps onto the field with a clear goal in mind.
I wanted everybody to want to be there and to feel like they were part of the team, because that's what everybody did for me when I was, younger coming up. And I think as a team, looking forward, we definitely wanted to make it to the point where we were last year and maybe even farther.
I think we were like over halfway there just with what we needed, what we knew, like how we had to play and everything. And then I think we could use that to go into practices every day and work really hard to get to where we could take that knowledge and actually like project it on the field and actually start winning games, like every game consistently and playing consistently.
Goal for the team obviously was making it to the state tournament. That's what we've talked about for years. It felt more real, like it was something that we could actually do this time. Not that we didn't have faith other years, but this year it was different. And I think the expectation of the team was that we would at least make it far into playoffs, if not make it to that section final game. And then the goal was to beat whoever we were up against, which we were kind of hoping was Alex, based on the results from the year before.
Every player has their own routine to get ready for a game, and every coach has their own ritual to get their players in the zone. For the Tigers, there's 2 game day rituals they can't go without. For the coaches, it's lacing up their cleats and jumping into pregame warm-ups.
We started it because we were just like, let's bring the intensity up. But also, like, we also want to take some shots on goal. And then, some days we're just passing the ball back and forth. Sometimes it's, nope, we're going to get in there and we're going to bring this up.
I think it raises the level of play because, they're really good players. They're really good coaches, but they're also really good players. And it's an opportunity for us to connect with them, kind of like how we do as a team on the field, and the coaches are a part of that.
Oh, I'm scared of Fro's shots and I'm scared of boards is just boots up in the air. So having them out there is very fun, and especially considering that they are a level above us in terms of like their physicality. Like they are able to kick the ball much faster than us with a lot more accuracy. So it's a good experience to figure out like what can I handle like with guarding, especially on defense.
For the whole team, their final pregame preparation starts with passing around the game day bracelet.
I don't know why we like do it. It's just like a fun little tradition.
It's made up with the other team's colors and usually a funny little slogan or something fun.
We pass the bracelet during the national anthem. Every girl has to touch it, and then I wear it for the game. And then at the end of the game, coaches sometimes will ask the players like, hey, who gets the bracelet?
It's the player that we all think stood out during the game or just had a really solid performance. They get the bracelet at the end of the game.
Tech would open their 2024 season at home in a matchup against the Little Falls Flyers.
Well, going into the Little Falls game, like first game of the season, we have no idea how we're going to play together, honestly, because we don't really scrimmage like other schools before our season starts.
I always remember Little Falls as being like a fast team to play against. Like they have speed. And so going into the game, I just kind of knew that I was going to have to use my speed that game, move the ball pretty quickly.
And I just remember Journey taking the ball, just immediately running up and scoring. And I'm just like, and that's a freshman. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that was just absolutely shocking to me to watch that happen.
The Tigers netted 6 goals, securing their first victory of the season with a score of 6-0, with 4 different goal scorers and freshman Journey Okwar scoring her first Tech career goal.
I think like that game and scoring 6 goals, like right away, I was like, okay, like we can actually like, go far this season too.
The Central Lakes Conference is where small town pride meets fierce competition. Made up of some powerhouse teams, every game tells a story of passion and the chance for bragging rights.
Going back from when, even before we started coaching back to the early 2010s, Tech had kind of been the team that gets beat up on. They were the punching bag of the conference in the section.
I think it's fun to play the challenging teams because it really shows us what we need to work on and pushes us to be better. In the Central Lakes Conference, I would say like playing those AAA schools and like knowing that you can compete with them, that's really fun. And then like when you get later in the section finals and stuff, I feel like that really prepared us. So I really like playing like against those AAA schools.
In the first away game of the year, Tech would face off against their newly formed conference rival, the Willmar Cardinals. Over the past few seasons, the Tigers have struggled to come away with a win over the Cardinals. It wasn't until the 2023 section semifinal in a 1-0 win that St. Cloud Tech would finally upset the Wilmer Cardinals. Having ended Wilmer's season the year prior, the girls knew they were going into this game with a target on their backs.
So this was the first time we really got challenged. And boy, did we get challenged.
And our first away game on the road is Wilmer. And I'm like, oh, because like what happens with Wilmer is like, they're just a quick, sneaky team. Like, credit to them. We go on the road. They score first, maybe 5 to 8 minutes into the game. And I'm like, oh no, like, got to keep our heads up. Molly goes and ties it. Molly goes and scores another one. Okay, we're up 2-1. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden the goals happen. Wilmer goes and scores 3 quick goals. So we're down 5-2. And it's just like, what is happening? Like, why does this happen to us here? And you think 5-2, like 3 goals, a 3-goal deficit that's tough. Right before half, Molly scores 2 more to make it 5-4. So we're 5-4 at the half.
Wilmer had just left us shocked. Like at the very end of that first half, we were able to manage ourselves, but we were still like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? This is horrible. We are not going to be the team that we thought we were.
The second half, I don't know what happened, but it was like something just clicked, and we were just feeding Molly the ball through, and it was just a goal and another one and another one. And Maggie snuck one in there. And it was the actual craziest game I've ever coached in my life. My emotions were all over the place.
The Tigers bounced back to clinch a stunning 9-5 victory against Wilmer. Molly Bergstrand put on a goal-scoring showcase, netting 8 of the 9 Tiger goals and tying the single-game scoring record.
Iris had a great game that game. We had players stepping up. Our mids were just feeding Molly these crazy through balls, and she was just breaking away. That game is what made us realize this team is different. They could have just folded at 5-2. They could have just been like, there's no chance we're gonna come back. And they didn't.
That game proved to us that we really can do anything if we put our minds to it.
A 4-game win streak would come to an end in a 2-3 loss over AAA team Moorhead High School.
Even coming back and getting a few goals on them, I think definitely helped. But obviously we came up just a little bit short. And I think it was good. It was a good learning experience for us. We knew that we can't really let up like that again.
I mean, it was hard. First loss, it kind of felt like that we might go down a path, a losing streak, and then come back up. But I mean, the score, I would have been more disappointed and more nervous if it was a 4-0 or a 5-0 loss. But to know that it was just 1 goal difference, I just knew that it's still a reality that we have to accept, that we're going to lose games.
I feel like losses, we could just brush off really easily. We knew what we had to work on right away to get back from that loss.
With the Moorhead game behind them, the Tigers looked ahead to prepare for their upcoming game against Alexandria. This game would be the first matchup between these two teams since the 2023 section final, a game that the Tigers remember all too well. A face-off with the Alexandria Cardinals could satisfy a desire for redemption and present a glimpse of what's to come for the upcoming playoffs.
I wanted to see what we could do, right? We had played tough teams. We had lost some tough games. We had won some really good games. Now we're up against the team that we're sort of expecting to see again in postseason.
My mindset, and probably as a team too, was to just stay gritty and keep working. If they got an opportunity on us, we just go back harder and try to get an opportunity on them or start something. And I think we were all kind of nervous, but we were excited to face them again.
If we got blown out, that would have been pretty heartbreaking. But at least we could have gone away with the mentality of, we're going to see him again. Let's just do better next time. But that isn't what happened.
But Molly scored, and I feel like that kind of motivated me. I was like, okay, we just have to stop them from scoring. We don't have to score another goal, but they can't score another goal. So, but then obviously they end up scoring, and I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. But honestly, as long as we didn't lose, that helped us at the end because we wanted that number 1 seed.
I think walking away with a tie on that game in particular just left that door open, maybe a little suspense for postseason for both squads, right? They maybe came in and thought we beat them 3-rip last time we saw them, we're going to do the same thing. And we showed them otherwise. We showed them a tougher defense, a stronger offense, and we showed them what we can do.
Heading into the final game of the regular season against the Albany Huskies, the Tigers were looking to make their final preparations heading into playoffs.
Last game of the season, have to get ready for whatever's to come. And it was also alumni night. We really wanted to show out for our alumni. We really honor them, and we know like our program is where it is because of our past players. So to go out last home game, it was a nice day, have alumni there. We do our best to get in all of our bench players and our secondary players, and we move players around so that they get opportunities.
It's kind of fun to watch some of the younger girls who are still growing play in the games and let them have the experience of like what the higher level is like to play in and watch them play.
It's fun to have more than one scorer scoring, especially in games like that, to show that everyone can play a big role in a game like that.
Presley scored that game. It was a Kiki Schmicky goal, and Ava assisted her, and I remember their little duo. They were so excited because I remember them begging me to put them on offense, and I was like, fine. And then they like immediately scored, and I was like, okay. It was just a really fun way to kind of cap our season and just be proud of what we did during the regular season.
The Tigers put away 12 goals, setting their biggest scoreline of the season in a 12-0 win, seeing two girls, Presley Anhorn and Brielle Zellman, earn their first varsity goals. The seeding for the Section 8 AA playoffs was announced on October 6, 2024, with St. Cloud Tech having the first seed and Alexandria the second seed. This meant that if everything fell into place, the Tech Tigers and the Alexandria Cardinals would likely meet in the section final once again.
After finding out that Alex was the second seeded, that we were the first seed, I knew they were going to be mad.
We knew how these teams played. We knew how these teams played against each other, so we were ready to go into the game, each game knowing that ultimately we have to be ready for Alec. And I think at Wilmer, we really made sure we had that mindset of regardless of how much we can score immediately, we also have to like continue to make sure that our passes are clean, our shooting is clean, our communication is clean, just so when it comes time, we are ready.
Although the section final is the ultimate goal, the girls stay focused on the match in front of them, knowing every game of sections is crucial. The Tigers would face the number 8 seed Detroit Lakes at home to open their playoff run. Heading into the game, there was a looming statistic that was becoming more and more of a reality as the season progressed. After scoring 6 goals in the final game of the regular season, forward Molly Bergstrand was only 4 goals away from scoring 100 goals in her Tech career.
Going into the playoff game, we knew she was close. We figured it would happen at one of the games. We just didn't know which one because, you know, with playoffs, you don't know. Maybe you don't score as many goals as you used to. Yeah, maybe we beat DL 8 or 9-0 the first time. It does not mean in playoffs we're going to beat them by the same amount.
I was more kind of thinking if it happened, it happens, because it was like, yeah, I'm kind of close, but it was also like, I'm not going to just try to keep the ball. Like, I'm going to try to just play the game, do what's going to help our team best, like kind of focus on winning the game because it was also a playoff game. So I think winning it was more important than scoring my 100th goal in that. So
with her 4th goal of the night in the 31st minute, Molly scored her 100th Tech career goal and 50th goal of just the 2024 season alone, becoming the first player in program history to achieve this milestone.
It was so incredibly awesome to see her do that. And it's just, I'm so grateful to be playing with her.
Being on a team with, you know, players like that is so inspiring and, you know, really just sets a high standard. And I was just so grateful to be able to, you know, celebrate that with her. Before that game, I was like obviously hoping that Molly gets it because she's such a good soccer player. Like, I don't know, I just love playing with her. I was hoping that she gets it, but for her to get it like right away in the first half, it was like low-key like a relief. And like, I don't know, I just like I felt so happy for her. And then the rest of the game, it was just like so smooth from there. 9-0, like it was like definitely like a breath of like fresh air in sections. Like when you can do that, like it's just so much better.
This is what like we talk about when this team is different. You know, girls were coming, they had cards made, they had posters made, they had someone, you know, made her some sunglasses and stuff like that. It was such a cool feeling, and we were obviously so proud of her. What an accomplishment. But just like to see the team just be so genuinely happy for her, that's like our family. That's makes us more proud than like anything else. Like just genuinely happy for their teammate and wanting her success as much as their own.
Coming off of a big win against Detroit Lakes, the Tigers knew they couldn't take their foot off the gas now. A matchup with Rocori was a game that could go either way if you're not prepared. A trip back to the section final was on the line. The playoffs can be unrelenting. Players try to find ways to deal with the stress and the nerves, whether that's pasta feeds, braiding hair before games, or passing around a bracelet during the national anthem. Sadie Zellman, on the other hand, found a way to bring a little Halloween spirit to this section semifinal.
Sadie had a gourd pumpkin patch, and I just have to bring that up because that is just like describes this group like to a T. We showed up to the game and she had gourds laying all over with every single person's name on it. And it was just like...
So my friends and I are out at this pumpkin patch and they're selling these 99-cent pumpkins. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab them all for every single player on my team. So I grabbed like 30 gourds and they're all like this size and they're all like ugly. They're just ugly little gourds. I brought them all out in a box, just silently. No, like boards is there. A few of the other captains are there and I just start placing them all across the track. And they all have the name tags on them. I picked out every name for each person and they all got to find their gourd. In the end, I was happy because I love Halloween.
As another team walks in and sees that, they're probably like, really? Like, what is this team doing? But like to us, that is like the things that we do at Tech Soccer. Like just like really random weird things that when someone does it, we're all on board. Like we don't even ask questions. We're just like, okay, we all got a gourd. Like, what do we do with it? I don't know, but we all got one.
Following a stellar 9-1 win over Rocori, with Claire Thien scoring her first varsity goal and Molly Bergstrand tying the single game scoring record for the second time this season, the Tigers are once again bound for the Section 8 AA final in a matchup they were expecting all season long.
Just awesome. I had like goosebumps the whole ride home, just like, we did it. Like we're going back there and I know for sure we could win or we could at least put up a bigger fight. It was another stepping stone that we had to get past, and to get past it, it was just an incredible feeling.
I had relief that we did it, right? We made it back to where we at least were kind of expected to go. We made it there. We're getting our chance for revenge. And I think that was a big goal for the players and coaching staff outside of then taking it to the next level.
It's the St. Cloud Tech Tigers and the Alexandria Cardinals battling for the right to play in a state tournament. The Cardinals are looking to go back to the tournament for the 4th year in a row, and the Tigers are looking to make it for the first time in over 20 years. The number 2 ranked Alexandria Cardinals had only allowed 9 goals in their last 10 games since playing the Tigers during the regular season, whereas Tech had only allowed 4 goals in their last 10 games. Both teams were evenly matched, but these girls were determined to earn more than just a draw from their regular season encounter.
I knew that our whole team was definitely ready physically. Like, we knew that we could do it if we played simple soccer. And I think the biggest thing was just making sure that we were all in the right mental state and not getting in our heads, not letting other things affect the way we were playing, and just kind of focus on one thing and one thing only.
When you get to the field, like everything feels like it's happening so fast. And like I was like, this is not my last time playing high school soccer. Like this is not going to be the end. We had the year before that kind of like looming over us, but we weren't letting that tie us down in any way. Leading into the game was probably honestly like the most important thing. I remember looking at Alex warming up and thinking that we had way more energy than they did, or at least it looked like it. And we were talking and we were encouraging each other.
and that kind of carried us into the game.
The Tigers were off to an electric start. Senior captain Molly Bergstrand opened the scoring in the 3rd minute of the game.
You always want to score first. You always want to get that momentum, especially against a team like Alex where you know it's going to be 80 minutes of just throwing everything you can. So to get that first goal, and she just scores this like perfect upper 90, probably one of her most beautiful goals of the year. I just remember screaming so loud and cheering so loud, and I just couldn't believe we're like 3.5 minutes into this game and we got a goal on Alex.
Molly's opening goal of the game would break the Minnesota State record for most goals scored in a single season with 61 goals. Freshman forward Journey Okwar was not far behind her, adding a second goal to the scoreline in the 21st minute of the game.
After we got that first goal, Molly scored. I don't know, I felt like I just had a feeling that we had it, and then Journey getting another goal, like it was like we can't blow a 2-goal lead right now at the section final. We can't do that.
The 2-goal lead would not last though. In the dying seconds of the first half, Alexandria's Brenna Egebratton would score off of a volley from the top of the 18 to cut the Tigers' lead in half, going into halftime with a score of 2-1. The second half was going to be a true test of defense for the Tech Tigers.
We're up, but barely, and it's more of like, now we just got to hold off. Like, we just can't let them score because like our midfield and our defense are getting worked so hard that it's hard to even like get the ball out of it.
I think the second half was probably the most intense game I've ever played in. I feel like the ball, like every time it came onto our half or their half, I was just like one wrong touch and everything can go wrong. So just making sure that nothing got past a certain point and trying to keep the ball down in their half as long as we could.
As the clock was winding down, the entire Tech team and the fans behind them held their breath, anxiously waiting to see if everything they worked for this season would pay off.
With about a minute left, Katie and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, we maybe did it. We probably did it.
I remember hearing the fans and like them counting down, and I'm watching the seconds on the clock get like smaller and smaller, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like it hit me like halfway through that we were going to win it and we're going to state.
The Tigers came out on top in a 2-1 win over Alexandria, securing their spot in the state tournament. It took 23 girls, 3 coaches, and an entire community of support to achieve this dream. For the first time in over 20 years, the Tech girls soccer team were section champions at last.
I mean, that's just like the best feeling. I feel like all the work that we put in the whole season and seasons leading up to it, it paid off in that moment, and it was just so great.
To do that my senior year, like there's really no better way to go out. It was like such a shock. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, oh my gosh, Molly, what just happened? Like there's no way we just won.
After the game, it was kind of like a moment of relief. Like we actually like made it, and now we can just kind of like take a deep breath and not be so like tense. And it was just super exciting to like see just such like a young, small team do something that big.
When you go back and look to my 8th grade year, the year that we had joined, we didn't win a single section game. We were very bad. Managing to like build up this team, whether it's in our character or in our skills, really just showed through, especially near that end of the section game.
To have the roles reverse, I mean, that was our Super Bowl. That was like, it did not matter what like lies ahead of us at state. It was the best feeling to see them like smile and just be so happy. I can still see them like celebrating and cheering, and to see the parents come down and just have so much pride and joy in their kids and other players. It was just like, this is our family. Like, this is what we want and we've hoped for like forever for this program.
The section final win would also become Katie Boardman's 50th win as head coach for St. Cloud Tech.
Yeah, just to have started our time here at Tech together and watch her grow into the coach that she is, kind of meet that milestone was just really, I think it was really fun for everyone to see, right? I mean, we talk about player accolades and accomplishments, and sometimes you forget about the person that's been there for 10 years making those things happen And boards is a big reason why all of these things happened. So to get some recognition for her, I think was really good.
This Tiger team now faced something they've never experienced before, the MSHSL State Tournament. The long-awaited celebrations continued as the girls got ready to head to their first state tournament banquet.
It was just so fun because, like, I've never been there. I know some other players who've never gotten to do that, especially like Addie. I remember her coming up to me and she's like, "Do you know what to do?" And I'm like, "No, I've never done this before either." And it was just fun to get all dressed up and represent Tech and the surrounding area that we play in. And I know at the banquet, I remember boards telling the same thing, but like it felt like we were the outsiders.
You can see some of the other girls, some of the girls even like in our like area, were all dressed in like the exact same color, the exact same shoe, the exact same hairstyle. Like they were all ready. They had been here before. They knew the drill. And this was kind of a unique, like we had never done this before. And no one that we have had in our program knew what this was either. Like this was everyone's first time.
While soaking in the experience of making it to this point, the Tigers were also celebrating two of their teammates. Maggie O'Hara and Molly Bergstrand both made the Class AA All-State teams, with Maggie making the second team and Molly making the first team.
You know, you have the leading scorer in the state and you have the leading assists in the state on the same team who are best friends.
Getting to see Molly and Maggie also go up on that stage was super exciting for our entire team.
Molly Bergstrand was also a nominee for the Miss Soccer Award. The annual award is given by the Minnesota State High School Soccer Coaches Association to the top female high school soccer player in the state.
I was nervous because we didn't know. No one knew. We knew she was up for it. And I just remember kind of sitting there thinking like, what are they going to say? Whose name are they going to call?
I think anyone could come watch Molly play and know that it didn't matter what class she was in, what level she was at, she was going to score goals and she was going to be one of the best to do it.
The whole time going down there, like, I was like, Molly has this. She scored 100 goals in her whole career. Like, she is literally with soccer. Like, I don't know. I just was so happy for her. Like, I literally was tearing up. I was like, she deserves this so much.
Like being the player that she was and how hard she works, especially being a student athlete, it's a hard thing to do. And for her to see her get that, I was just so proud of her.
And I always tell her, I was like, you should be proud and you should know that you're one of the best to wear a Tech uniform. And Bemidji's lucky to have you. And like, I hope she never stops chasing her dreams because she's special. And I think that, you know, Bemidji is surface level for her.
After the banquet, the team switched their focus to their state quarterfinal matchup against the number 3 seeded Mankato East. On October 24th, the Tigers would take on Mankato East at Spring Lake Park High School, a neutral site for both teams. Playing in the state tournament was uncharted territory for this team. There were different rules to follow, which meant pregame routines would have to change.
Going to that first game, well, like when we loaded the bus, all of our parents were there, like cheering for us. It was the cutest thing ever. I don't know. And then on our way there, we got little notes from boards and the coaches, and then we got notes from our parents. So it was like, that was so cute too. And everything was so like set in place. Like, we have to go into this locker room at this time and like do this, do this, do this.
You only get so many minutes on the field, and we're a team that does a full hour warm-up. We have so many things we like to do. So when you kind of like ruin that, it puts us in a weird spot of like a really unusual thing and something we're not used to.
It was so different than any game we had ever played. Like, I couldn't really process it like as I was playing the game.
Having been lucky with Minnesota's unpredictable weather all season, the rain would prove to be a challenge for these girls.
The things we couldn't prepare for, like playing in the rain, I think really got to us a little bit. When you play a season as dry as the one we had in 2024, where we didn't play in the rain at all, not a single wet field all season, that really trips you up. And I'm not blaming that for our loss at all, but I definitely think that got in the heads of our players a little bit.
Mankato East would open the scoring early in the first half with the lone goal sending the Tigers down 1-0 at halftime. Another goal would come for Mankato East 10 minutes into the second half.
After the first goal, I was like, yeah, I kind of expected they would score. I just gotta forget about it like I've always tried to do. And I was like, it's just one goal, like we have the whole game to get back. And then after the second goal, I was kind of like, well, like now we have to work even harder than we already are to get a goal back.
12 minutes later, Molly Bergstrand would break through with a header goal, making the score 2-1 off of an assist from Maggie O'Hara. That assist for O'Hara would tie the state record for most assists in a season at 27.
When we came back and it was only 1-2, it was very like, okay, we have a good shot.
Okay, like we're right there with them. Like you don't want them to come back right away and score a goal on you, because then when it's a 2-goal like deficit, it's kind of hard to come back from.
You know, after Molly scored, we really tried holding on to that momentum and letting that pull us through the game.
Ultimately, the nail in the coffin would come in Mankato East's third goal of the night. As the final whistle blew, the Tech Tigers' historic season came to a close.
When it went down to 3-1, with only that much time left in the game, it was deflating, and it was tough to stay mentally motivated. On the bench, and on the field.
Playing hard teams like that, and the state game, it's a lot. I mean, not that it's a lot of pressure, but it's nerve-wracking, and the fact that we had never been there before made it even more daunting.
The Tigers would end their season with an overall record of 15-4-1, accomplishing almost all of their season goals.
I was proud that we just continued to give it our all in every single game. We consistently showed up and we delivered.
We just proved everyone wrong and proved that you can be a good soccer team even if you don't have a huge team to pick from.
I'm glad that we were all able to be so close and we were all there for each other to help each other through anything on and off the soccer field, because I feel like when we're connected together as people, we're able to connect as soccer players to get us that far.
Unknowingly, this 2024 season would be the last season of the Tech Girls Soccer program. In 2025, the program will combine with St. Cloud Apollo to form the Crush Girls Soccer team. With Katie Boardman at the helm, the family aspect will continue to live on for future generations.
Family, just because we turn to Crush, doesn't change. I think that's part of a coaching value of mine, is that I want to create this atmosphere of family, this feeling of belonging, this feeling of, trust within each other. I think we just look to bring that cohesiveness back and welcome these girls into a program that I think players enjoy being involved in.
From the first summer practice to the final whistle, these girls defied expectations, broke records, and created a legacy for years to come. It was never just about the wins or the goals. It was about the resilience, the heart, and the unbreakable bond they share as a family. This family stands together, united by a common dream and a love for the game. This season was a story written in every pass, every tackle, every goal celebration, every bracelet, every off-key rendition of the alma mater, and every moment they gave everything for each other. One team, one family, one historic season, 23 dreams.
Let's see, what's your most favorite game you played in this year?
Oh shoot. They've all been really fun. Little Falls is fun.
All right. And what position do you play?
Center back.
Center back. Which one is that? The center or the back?
Both.
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay. She's so good she can play two positions at once. How long have you been playing soccer?
A long time.
You could be more than that.
Years.
Years. And which garbage in our house is your preferred garbage?
The one under the sink. Perfect.
All right, you've heard it live here from Maddie Haggins. Are you better than the mid player? Alrighty, well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.